Hi, I'm Kat Poner, and I'm a licensed clinical social worker.
Hi, I'm Cassie Placencia, and I'm an associate clinical social worker.
Hi, I'm Stephanie Cornejo, and I'm an associate marriage and family therapist.
And we are clinicians at the Equine Healing Collaborative.
Can you kind of like explain to me like what your definition is of equine-assisted psychotherapy?
So it is a modality in which horses collaborate with us therapists to provide treatment for mental health illness and challenges. So regardless of what the client is coming with, we do interventions with horses, we collaborate with them, teamwork, or sometimes they represent something like a challenge, and we use that as a tool to help clients understand their problems, understand what their strengths are, and like be able to meet their needs emotionally. Emotionally as well.
Can I add to that? In addition to that, something that really sets EAP apart from other modalities of treatment is not all modalities, but a lot of modalities of treatment tend to be very narrowed, and oftentimes it requires a lot of structure or for clients to fit within a structure, which oftentimes doesn't work because, of course, we are complex people.
Yeah, so it doesn't fit for everybody, right? Like working in an office, having to talk just doesn't work for everybody.
It's inclusive and culturally competent.
Yes, and something about it that's really lovely is that it also just reduces the stigma or shame of feeling that you have to change or that something is wrong with you.
The really cool thing about animals in general, and like the Equine Healing Collaborative, we work with horses, but we have animals here. And so what's so amazing about them is this raw connection that is not based on how you look. It's not based on what's going on in your personal life. Like they don't care. So it's really about being present and connecting with another being and being able to be compassionate and empathetic and meeting where everybody's at. And so these animals are able to help us facilitate that for the client. And sometimes the idea of going to therapy is extremely scary, very intimidating. You're like, you're supposed to talk about what, with who, with like a stranger? And then these animals are there and it offers like a sense of peace. And sometimes just like this, they have this ability to bring out things that we wouldn't normally talk about with a stranger or with someone. So it's really cool to be able to see that.
And yeah, again, with the radical acceptance that horses really bring out of us, or require from us, is that we are able to demonstrate that with the horse by modeling, because we are hands-on, it is experiential treatment. And so by allowing the client who is witnessing kindness, compassion, like full self-care, by practicing and putting kind hands on the horse or being even just in their presence by doing herd observations, the horse is including that person. They may have an ear towards them. They may have an eye on them. In fact, I can almost guarantee it, right? Their tail swishes and the way they move around them kindly and the way that they explore that person. I mean, yeah, we could go on and on about how they have actually seen the client.
Yeah, like that objective witnessing. What do you think people don't understand about equine-assisted psychotherapy?
We don't ride horses.
Yes. We don't ride horses. Yes.
Tell me about that. Why not?
Because when you like impose your being on something, like you're no longer on equal standing. So like what we ask of clients is that when you come here, like I as a clinician am not better than you as a human being, as a client coming to me, and you are not better than the animals here. Like we are all living beings, we are all sharing this space. And so we don't ride them because they only do what they want to do. And like that's one of the things that happens around here is like, it's just like, well, brave one doesn't want to do it today, so I guess we're gonna swerve our plan, or we're gonna have to pivot. And so clients get to experience that in a way that you just wouldn't if we were imposing like, oh, we're gonna ride you and this is, you work for me sort of positioning.
Yes, as a clinician, there is an illusion of power. And so what we're constantly trying to do is break down those barriers. And by working alongside the horse, we are demonstrating that. Although you are hundreds of pounds, heavier than me and stronger than me. And, I tell the kid or the person that we're working with that, you know, just their head alone weighs over 80 pounds. And so it's not a matter of making them do it, we're doing it with them. Until working at the Equine Healing Collaborative, I didn't know what it meant to be at liberty. I mean, we're talking about freedom, right? Like just defining that for people. Just the words, the language that we use in EAP. Like,
I think people don't understand about equine-assisted psychotherapy.
First thing that came to mind was actually is that clients do not need to have prior experience with horses to come in here. You could actually have a fear of horses and still come here. And so the beautiful thing about it is we really want to meet you where you're at, just like we're meeting the animals where they are at. And then something else that came to mind too, maybe just to touch upon the previous question, was a core social work value is really valuing or believing in the inherent worth and dignity of every human being. And so that is really, we can say it a lot, and it's another thing to practice it. And I do feel that at the Equine Healing Collaborative, that is one thing that I consistently show up in, and I feel like it's part of the work and you just can't not do that.
In general, like, at least here, we, like, wherever you're at, so like if you're not ready to talk, we'll do something else and we'll figure out, and like there's still so much that can be done non-verbally, therapeutic wise, which is just something that's so different from like being in an office where like you're sitting face to face and like you're expected to talk. Here, like it's not like that. We can gain so much more information from other things, and so like the pressure is off there. Like it's really something special because of that. I wish that people understood that, like, wherever you're at, like whatever challenge you're going through, like it doesn't have to be alone. And so like when you're working in this work here at Equine Healing and with this type of psychotherapy, it's really collaborative. Like you are able to connect with this earth, and you're able to connect with animals, and you're able to connect with people, and you can really, even though you're one-on-one with a clinician and like an animal, or sometimes not, you can see that there are other people here doing the same thing. And so it's like, even if you're doing it separately, it's so much more like visible, like there are other people getting help too, and it just brings comfort there. And I just wish that people understood that like mental health is something that it's not necessarily like about a diagnosis. It's about how you feel in your life. And like if you're not happy or if you're struggling, you don't have to do that by yourself. Like there are people that want to help you through that. And if you really are stuck, if you like your family's not helping, your friends aren't helping, or whatever it is, like there are people that can kind of give you an outside perspective, or like treatments, or like the activities that can actually help, like give an I can apply this to this problem that I'm facing.
I was just about to say, just talking about the cultural competence of our of the agency. I think that we are also social beings, and so we already are gravitated towards horses, and they're very curious about us too. And so just being around them can be helpful and also lend itself to conversation so naturally about families, and by witnessing them in their natural elements in huge pastures and acres, large, areas, doing what they do, playing bitey face and, running over here and drinking water, and like, not because we're inviting them to drink water, but because it's there and it's open and they're just loved here, and so I think that I've had conversations about family that would have not come up unless I was like, tell me more, in a less organic way, by observing the horses run in herds or walk, or see who's spending time with who, and who reminds them of who.
Yeah, being able to explore like different dynamics, different personalities, and like you're able to like sometimes see yourself in certain behaviors and certain horses, and like that's something also where it's like being able to ascribe meaning yourself onto that as you like see the different animals and get to know them.
Definitely.
I would say there's something really beautiful too about this conversation is making me think about feeling chosen or feeling accepted. And I can't tell you enough times like how many clients that come here and maybe they're feeling really isolated, or they're feeling this sense of judgment, or that they have no friends, or that they don't feel supported, and yet they look forward to seeing that one horse or that one animal. And sometimes the horse chooses them. Like, we're just walking into the pasture and they will come directly towards them, and they feel so seen. And even though I come up to them and I walk to them, it's not the same. And so it's just so beautiful to get to witness that. And it doesn't happen just one time, it's consistent. And then you get to see this beautiful relationship form over time. So, and seeing that is, I just don't know where else, again, seeing that in the office, it wouldn't happen. And so that's what also sets this work very differently.
Family therapist.
And
we're
we are
clinicians.
And we are clinicians.
Okay, wait, 1, 2.
Is it we or we are?
And we are.
Human
I'm
beings.
sweating.
got
I
it,
just
I
want
got
you to
it.
know I'm sweating so much
Okay.
right now. I'm nervous. Okay. Sweat. It's a sauna in here. Okay, so